Hello, creative students. We are going to take a tour through some of the features of importing and resizing and manipulating, embedding images, videos, you name it, into one of my favorite things to work with, Google Slides. We are going to start with a quick tour around Google Slides. So each of these to the left here are your slides. And then within those slides, I might want to drop text boxes, and I might want to manipulate the image in the background here. To do that, all I would need to do is insert an image, right? I might have one from my drive. I might have photos that I've saved already to Google. I might have a URL that I would use. I might just do a search. There's all kinds of options within that. I'm going to go back because I liked that photo. Just wanted to show you. I can resize images and float them around. So we're going to dig in first with trying to find a video clip of one of my all-time favorite songs. In the template, there are often times where we'll leave some sort of box here to let you know and guide you in creating your own slides. And so I want to delete that because there's no need for it. I know that I'm going to go get that right now. It was just kind of a placeholder. So I want to import a clip of a video of the song Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones. So I'm not going to search for an image. Instead, I'm going to find a video. And so I can look within YouTube. I can, if I have a clip of the song, maybe from a concert I attended, I could include that as well. But I'm just going to go to good old YouTube and type it in. We'll see what Google has to offer. Let's see. This would be great. I'd love the live song there. So I'm going to go ahead and as I skim through and read through that, it's a 7-minute clip though. And I want to clip that down even further, I think. And so I'm going to hit play here. And the goal is only to give you a feel for the song, right? So I might scooch along. I've got 40 seconds here. So I'm watching the time to see how I can cut it smoothly. All right, so here is something that I want to address to you. You need to be listening to the song to make sure that the lyrics that you would show everyone are going to be appropriate. And this is a rock song. It's an adult rock song by the Rolling Stones. So there might be some language in it, some references to things that would maybe not be school appropriate. So I think that within that first 45 seconds, I'd be able to find enough of a clip to be able to give people a feel in my presentation for what kind of music it is, at least what kind of sounds it is. And so I'm going to just drop in the 45 seconds there. I want to clip before there's anything inappropriate to share with an audience. So over here on the side is where I can decide which clips within this whole video, the 7-minute video, that I would want to share. All I need to do is just make sure the times are correct here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click that back up so that I know I did it. I'm going to come back and click off of the video so that I can get the blue box with those tiny little boxes around it, the blue line. And I'm going to resize it. All I'm doing is just getting those arrows to happen so that I can click and drag. I can use the other video I've imported as kind of a guide, right? Trying to see what's going to fit and roughly what size I need to do. And I think I might go a little bit smaller to get that, just so it's kind of visually pleasing through the entire slide itself. And I'm going to see, I can also use my arrow keys on my Chromebook or computer or laptop. And I'm going to mess around with that a little bit. And I think part of the problem here is this label, the little box of a label there. So I'm going to click and drag that over to the side. And that might give me a little bit more options maybe in how I'm presenting these. Looks like I gotta pull it down a little bit more, right, guys? All right, I think that's gonna do. That works for me. I might come back and play around with the order of that later, but that is importing and clipping a video that you might want to share. In the next slide, I would like to find a photograph or an image of the cover of a book. And so again, I'm going to click on this gray box, and I don't need that anymore. That was the placeholder. So I'm going to delete it just so that I don't have tons of extra random boxes all over on my slide. And I'm going to go to insert, and now I'm just looking for an image, and I am going to go to search the web again. And so I will type the title in. I'm also going to add book, and you'll see there's even book cover, and I think that'll help narrow my search down a little bit. Let's see. There's lots of lovely photos of flowers and Toni Morrison, but not my book cover. Let's see if I just take off book. I'm still not finding what I need. Take it down to just the title, and that's what I figured. I'm getting pictures of blue eyes here. And again, lovely picture of Toni Morrison, but that's not going to do it for my book cover. All right, so now what I need to do is actually open up a window and go to Google. I'm still going to write, I don't know why I'm capitalizing, sorry. Aha, here is what I'm looking for. Now you can decide which one you want to take. I'm going to click over to images just so I can see it a little better. This is the cover of the book that I read that I loved. And so I want to take that one just because that's the one that sticks out in my memory. What I'll do is pull it off to a window here. I just clicked on it. And now I'm going to right click so that I get this window. And I want to scroll all the way down. I could save the image maybe to my desktop, depending what computer or device you're using. But because all of our accounts are hooked up to Google, I'm going to use that. And so I'm going to save the image to my Google Drive. It'll give me an option to rename. I highly suggest that you do this because trying to find random numbers and search through photos is a huge waste of time. Renaming it will allow you to search for it, which I think is really helpful. And so now it says it's saved, and it was saved to, I want to check where it's saving. I have a folder in my Google Drive that's presentation and design resources. And so it's saved right to that. I can change that and change the folder that it goes to just by following the clicks and the windows that come up and like following the directions that are on the screen. Within this, it's showing me a whole bunch of folders here, right? And I know where these are in my desktop. And so I can click here and select. I can change where I put that then if I'd like. Just so that you're aware. But right now I'm going to click off of it because that's all I need right now. So we'll go back to my slides. And instead of searching now in the wide internet, I am going to now go to my drive because that's where that photo is housed now. I just copied it over there, right? So I can go to recent, and I'm not seeing it pop up right now. So now I'll go to my drive and click on that folder that usually has my resources in it. And there it is. I see it. So I'm going to select that. It'll show me a little blue window down here that the image is selected. I'm going to insert it. And it's gigantic, drops it right in the middle. So obviously I need to resize here. I'm going to slide it right over here. You can see it's now covering up my my label of what it is. I think I also want to make that look a little different there. And these are all adjustable so that you get the right feel and design to whatever you're working on. Feel free to play around with it. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. I should show you this. If I just pull on one side here, it's going to stretch out the proportions, and you don't want that. So in order to keep the right proportions so it doesn't get stretched and weird, you want to make sure you're grabbing by the corners, okay? I have my cover now. I sometimes feel when you've got a photograph in the background or some sort of design and you drop a photo in, another image in, sometimes you don't see the separation. It can, I don't know. I like to be able to add a border to it. And so this icon up at the top will let me add a border. So I'm going to just choose white. I can choose the thickness of it. So here's what that 1 point looks like, and it's more subtle. But I've already selected 2 point in a lot of the other pictures throughout this slide presentation. So I'm just going to try to keep the look consistent and select that again. All right, on the next slide, I want to import another image here. One of my favorite authors is Maya Angelou. And so I want to find a photograph of her. So I'll go back up to Insert and Image. And I'm going to, again, search the web and see if I can find her. Right. All kinds of pictures. I'm going to search through to try to find one that I think is the best. And I feel, look at how gorgeous she is. All right, we're choosing this one. She was a fiery lady, and so I think that'll work. Now, I want to adjust multiple things here. First, I want to resize it because that's just too big, right? I also want, I think, you'll notice some of these other photographs that I've imported here and embedded, I'm changing the shape of them. And so I think I want more of a circle portrait for Maya Angelou. And I am going to then click up here on this cropping tool. Now, first, I see there's some black space around her that I could probably cut that out, right? So first I'm going to go to cropping the image. Oops, sorry, I got to get the right one selected. There we go. And make sure that that blue line, right? What I just showed you, I was on the one in the back, and that's no good. So I'm going to go up to the cropping tool. Now, when you crop, if I pull the side in, it's going to give me that little kind of black line. I want to adjust that a bit and see if I can get it to look right. I don't know, it's looking a little lopsided to me. You'll notice on the bottom here, I just grabbed the blue of the image. And so you have to be careful that you're grabbing the little black line for the cropped part. I think that this will be okay for now. I'm going to see what the circle does when I try to crop it with that circle image. So I can just hit enter and it will automatically crop all of that in for me. If I want to change the actual shape of the box to something maybe just kind of creative, a little bit different, then I can go just to the right of that cropping tool. I have an option to mask the image, which is going to give me all kinds of options in here, right? So I'm going to find the circle. And now I've got some room to play with here. Oops, that's, again, I don't want to, let's see. Maybe I want more of a circle and not an oval. I can check that out and see if I can get it a little better. I'm not quite sure. Oh, I know why. If you look, my image overall is a rectangle, so it defaults to an oval. So if I want it to be more circular, then I need to go ahead and go back to my cropping tool maybe and pull this up so that the shape itself is more square in nature. Let's see if that does the trick. So I'll go into my shapes. There we go. So I think that this works. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. I like where it's showing that you still see her pin and her ring, and you can still get her whole head and everything in there. And so now I'm going to resize it just a bit. Holy cats. Back to the right slide, sorry. And shimmy that over to the side. All right, again, I want to come up here and find my border. Get the right amount of points on it. And I'm going to slide the nameplate down just a bit. All right, I think that'll do it. That's working for me. All right. Last thing here that I'm not liking is I don't like the way that that comes down. The P comes down behind her head. So I think I'm gonna shrink it down just a little bit more. All right. Perfect. You will also have at times, here, let's go to the next slide. Times where you'll want to write a text box. And if it just was this text box, it is, let me show you what it looked like without the fill behind it. So sometimes the lettering can be hard to read over the top of an image. A quick way to fix that is just to make sure that the box you have around the words is the right shape, that there's no like extra room that doesn't need to be there. So get it nice and tight with the lettering. And then you can go under the fill tool here with the fill color. And I have a color that's already selected here, but I'm going to show you what I did. So I went into this kind of lighter purpley colors because I wanted it to be close to what the background was. So it just kind of blend in. And then I can go down to custom, and it's going to allow me to play around with the actual tone and hue. And also you'll see transparency right here. So I can slide this down and make it just a really light, soft fill behind that lettering. And now it'll help make the letters pop on the page, but it's not totally covering up the image behind it. I think that can sometimes be a nice feature to do. You can still go back and adjust the box shape and tighten that up a little more, like I just did. All right, the last image here is what happens if I have an image of my own that I took on my Google Drive, and I want to include that. So we're going to take this and get rid of this box. And then I emailed myself a photograph so I can show you that whole process. And so I have this photo of a cup of coffee, one of my favorite things, and I'm going to add it to my drive. I can click on the organize part or link and get that in the right folders that I need so that I can find it. And I've got an image folder here. I'm going to go ahead and put it right into photographs, and I'm going to move it. And then it comes up down on the bottom. If you see here, I'm going to click on the photographs link right away. Now, I don't have to do that. I could, as you see up here in this tab, I could just find that, right? But just in case, I want to show you the whole process. So if we're in my photos now, I'm going to go to, I can use the top of this to see where I am in my drive. So I'm in that presentation and design resources, I'm in images, I'm in photographs, and I can see some other pictures, right? I might want to rename this. If I do, I just right click on it and it brings up my options. So I can go ahead and rename cup of coffee if I really want to. You probably wouldn't have to. There's only a few images in here. So when I'm ready, now I'm going to insert that image. So I go insert, and I'm going to go to my drive now. And remember, it was inside the images folder. So I have to double click on that, and I put it in the photographs folder. I could, if I wanted to, though, let me show you. Maybe check in recents, and it shows up right away at the top there. I could also, let me go back to my drive. All right, and so now I'm going to use that search feature up at the top, and let's put in cup of coffee and see what we get. Ta-da! So all kinds of ways that I can search to find that photograph on my drive, and I'm going to make sure it's selected and then insert it. Giant cup of coffee. And I don't think that I really need it to be that big this morning. And I also am struggling with the shape of that photograph here. I don't want that. So I'm going to try to come in here and crop it. If I double click on it, I can get that cropping tool to show up. Remember, that's just up at the top here. And so I'll pull it down and round and play around with it so that I get it to be a little bit more friendly to the design shape that I've got here. And there we go. I think that'll work. All right, so then that's it. Those are several ways that you can import images, videos, get creative, fool around. You're not going to ruin anything that can't be fixed, guys. So dig in there and try and just explore. All right, good luck. Make sure you ask for help if you need it.